Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is you are listening. I welcome you and thank you for listening. Today, Thursday, July 11th, 2019, a mere 7 days until The Lion King. 7 more days till The Lion King. Super excited. A little later on, I'm going to get into the topic of what your favorite Disney movie is. So stick around for that. Like I mentioned today, July 11th, 7-Eleven. I believe you can get a free Slurpee today at 7-Eleven. So check it out. The lines are typically very, very long for, things like this. I try to stay away. I'm not a Slurpee fan anyway. Slurpees, ices, it's too cold or something. It's just, I don't know. I like milkshakes. Don't get me wrong. I'll throw back a milkshake in 2 seconds flat. But these icy things, they're just a little too, I don't know, freezy, frozen-y, something-y. So what am I going to talk about today? Mercury in retrograde. We were talking about this earlier in the week. Mercury will be in a retrograde until the 31st. So it's still quite a ways off. I've been trying to take notice because, as I mentioned to you, that it's going to mess with our communication and organizational skills and bring out our cruel side. So I did notice I've been a little less talkative than usual. I'm not sure if that has to do with Mercury being in retrograde, but the last couple of nights, I just found that Joe and I just didn't talk a lot. In fact, at one point when we were eating out the other night, I looked at him and I said, if I don't talk, we just don't talk. And he said, I know, I've been trying to think of something to say. He's just not a big talker, which is fine. I know that. I talk enough for the both of us. I talk enough for 4 of us, for sure. So I was quiet that night, and then I was quiet again, a little quiet again last night. Maybe it's just because I'm really tired. Maybe it's not Mercury in retrograde at all. Now, on Tuesday, we had gone out, like I said, and then when I got home, I had not taken a nap that day. And I typically always do take a nap because I still get up pretty early for the most part. And I need that little afternoon nap. I usually get about an hour. Usually about an hour to an hour and a half. Sometimes I'll stretch it out to 2 hours. I just go back to bed and turn the TV on and tuck her in with me, and I sleep until I wake up. Not a big deal. So I hadn't had a chance to do that on Tuesday. So I was very, very tired when we got home from dinner, and I fell asleep on the couch at 6:30, and I slept until 8. And then I got up. And what time did I go to bed? Maybe about an hour and a half later. I think about 20 after 9, I went back into the bedroom. And I did fall asleep pretty much right away. I was a little shocked at how fast I fell asleep. But when Joe got up the next morning at 3:25, when his alarm goes off, I woke up and I felt like I couldn't get back to sleep. So I got right back up then. And it didn't even occur to me that I had had so much sleep probably at that point. So when I got up, Joe didn't seem surprised. He's like, well, you fell asleep at 6:30. I was like, well, yeah, when you put it that way, I guess I did get a lot of sleep. And then I slept in this morning as well. Yes, slept until my alarm went off at 5. I typically get up at 4, but this week I've been a little ahead of schedule. So I don't know about the organizational skills. Maybe it's not as bad as they're saying it is. So I've been sleeping in a little bit later this week. But maybe this does have something to do with the fact that I went to Walmart yesterday. As I've mentioned, our town has gone plastic bag free. No more single-use plastic bags. we always remember going into the grocery store to take our reusable bags. I cannot, for the life of me, remember to take a bag into Walmart. Every time. Every single time. So we had purchased a bunch of reusable bags when this bag ban went into effect. And I bought some really big ones. And Joe has decided he does not like these big ones. They get too heavy. It's too hard to organize. He wants more of the smaller size. Okay. Since I forgot my bag, to bring it into Walmart, I figured I'd purchase a good bag. And they're not terrible. It's not an enormous amount of money. I think it was $1.25. So I scanned that first because I usually go through the self-checkout. The reason I go through the self-checkout before anybody calls me on it, I know that we are taking jobs away, but I'm going to do it myself rather than wait in a long line. You have to make it convenient. I'm not going to sit and stand in a long line when I can just be in and out like that doing it myself. I don't mind doing it myself. In fact, I actually prefer to do it myself. I don't like doing it at the grocery store because, you've got to weigh the bananas and weigh the tomatoes and all that stuff. I don't want to get into all that. And plus, I usually have a pretty large cart full. I don't want to do all of that, at the same time. But at Walmart, I prefer to do it myself. So I scanned my new bag first, and then I put it in the bagging area to put the rest of my purchases in. Now, I had purchased 2 greeting cards. I scanned them and put them next to the bag so that I would put them in last so I wouldn't get them all smushed. So I scan the rest of my items, and I finish up, and I walk out of the store, and I didn't even realize it until hours later. I left my greeting cards there at the bagging area. So I'm guessing they're gone. I don't know. I actually bought myself a pair of shorts at Walmart, and they're way too big. Oh, the horror. Now, these shorts, they're like athletic shorts. And it seemed like the waistband was really tight, like it was very elasticy. And I thought, let me go with the bigger size because I didn't want it to be uncomfortable. And it turned out that I just went one size too big. If it had a little drawstring or something inside, I probably would keep them and just, super tie them up. But there's no drawstring. So I'm going to have to return those. So maybe I'll return those today and say, hey, did you put aside some cards that somebody bought? If not, no big deal. I buy the cards in the cheapy card section. Walmart now has a cheapy card section. I used to just buy my cards at the dollar store because cards have gotten ridiculous. I mean, come on, people. $8 for a Mother's Day card? Isn't that a little absurd? So I started buying all my cards at the dollar store. And if people think that I give them crappy cards, they haven't told me that. So I'm not that worried about it. So I did leave my cards at the Walmart, and I don't know if that's from Mercury in retrograde or just, me not paying attention. Probably me not paying attention. I wanted to mention that I'm getting a birthday gift for a certain guy in my life. I know he listens, and it's not a secret. He knows what he's getting. But I ordered something for him yesterday. I have not received a shipping date yet. I'm not sure how long this is going to take. I would like to get it as soon as possible because I'm not going to make him wait until his birthday to use it. I'm not going to mention it. He knows what it is. I don't know why I won't mention it, but I just can't mention it because it's a birthday gift. So I'm waiting for the shipping date, and I'm not sure how long that's going to take. So the interesting part of this is when I ordered it, I looked into their financing, and because it's a pretty pricey item, and I qualified for their credit deal, their financing, which was not surprising to me. I have a very good credit score, but the interest was the lowest interest rate was 14%, which I thought was a lot. I think that's even more than my credit card. If it's not, it's pretty much the same. And then I would have another bill to pay every month or whatever. So I was like, I'm just going to put in the regular credit card. So as soon as I hit submit order, I'm not even kidding you, within a couple of seconds, I get a text message. And this was at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, I thought initially it was from the place that I purchased the item. No, it's from my credit card. Did you just make a purchase of blah, 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 from blah, blah, blah? Well, bravo. Thank you. Yes, I did. And I appreciate you checking. They sent me an email as well. And they said, send back a 1 if you made the purchase, send back a 2 if you didn't. So I was very impressed with that. I was very happy with that. I'm glad that my credit card is working for me. This is one of the reasons why I use my credit card more often than my debit card, just for the fact that I can dispute charges on my credit card. If somebody gets into my debit account, my bank account, they can wipe me out and I could just be, SOL. So I try to use my credit card as much as possible, especially with online purchases. So I was very happy about that. The only other thing is to pay it off. That would be really, really good news. That would make me very happy. That is another story for another time. I wanted to talk about my girl Pink. You know how I love my girl Pink. She's a hometown girl to those of us in PA, Doylestown, PA, representing in the house. Pink is one of my favorites. She sings this song called A Million Dreams. Do you know that song? I love that song. I'm being facetious, of course, because I talk about that song all the time. That is the song that inspired the Hopefulist. If it weren't for Pink singing A Million Dreams, and I happened to hear it on the way to work one day, with her inspiring me to do more with my life, of course, based on the movie The Greatest Showman, I wouldn't be here in front of this microphone talking to you right now. So there's a lot of people to thank. Pink is definitely one of them. So I love Pink, and I had spent some time with Pink early in her career. I'm very upset that I just recently reached out to some people that I worked with at other radio stations in the past, because she came in studio with us one time and hung out with us. I remember this clearly. Mostly all she did was complain about how early it was and how could we do this every single day. But I have no pictures with Pink, which just breaks my heart, because I would love to have a picture with Pink. And I did. I hung with her, talked to her. She would never remember me in a million years, but I remember her. I remember hanging out with Pink. So apparently Pink was on the Ellen show, who she is very tight with. They are very good friends, her and Ellen. That's why she sings her introduction song now to her show. And she was telling Ellen about this incident that she had on the internet, on social media, where she had posted a picture of her son. I didn't see the picture. I don't know what the picture entailed, but apparently he didn't have a diaper on. And the trolls came after her. And it just, how could she not have a diaper on her son? And how could she do this? And they just picked the picture apart. And the way she described it to Ellen was, she said, it was just heartbreaking to me, because my kids, I'm more proud of my kids than of anything I've ever done. And she's done a lot. So, I just want to show off my kids because I love them and I'm so proud of them. And when I saw all of these trolls making these comments, she said, I literally broke down in tears. I just cried and cried. And it's so sad and awful to think of Pink sitting down and crying about anything, because we think she's such a badass, and she is such a badass, but we all have our moments. So she had sworn to not post any more pictures of her kids on social media. But she broke that promise. And she posted a picture this week of her kids running through sprinklers. But she tried to get ahead of the trolls by saying, yes, this is a picture of my kids running through the sprinklers. That's right. It's unfiltered water. That's right. There are no helmets on. They could slip and fall and crack their head open. What a horrible mother. I hope they have sunscreen on. Oh, my goodness. And where is their mother? No, she wasn't even there. She was in another country working. So she put all of this in the actual post and did a bunch of hashtags, parenting police, and all of this kind of stuff to hopefully get ahead of anything negative that people would say about the actual picture. So good for her. Bravo. I